So what is happening now? Oops, I did it. What is happening now is today on the 22nd, we are in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde on Wednesday. And everybody's heard the stories of Mercury going retrograde and all of that. And it can be scary and it's a joke and it's a meme and all these other things that happen. Mercury going retrograde, which happens, really we have challenges with technology. So Candy, having technology problems today, you're in the shadow, right? The shadow of Mercury retrograde, so makes perfect sense. So our technology starts acting wonky, things get a little bit on the fritz a little bit, and contracts, okay? Contracts. So anything you have to do a contract or anything that that you are buying a house, selling a house, dealing with personal property, buying a car, selling a car, anything with titles. So just between Wednesday and through September, what I want you to do is I want you to just give it a little bit of an eagle eye, take a little bit of extra, understand that Mercury is in retrograde and that you may need to pay a little bit closer attention to your technology, to your stuff. Now, when Mercury goes retrograde, I tend to blow out the electronics. Now, I blow out my electronics all the time. It's my vibration and my frequency. My husband, it's the damnedest thing. I am really hard on my cell phones. Like most cell phones can last. I know people whose cell phones have lasted for years and years and years. If I get 2 years out of my cell phone, I am lucky. It's because I'm holding my cell phone with my hands and with my energy centers. And then I've developed my Reiki attunements and my energy that when I'm holding that electronic device with my bioenergetics, right? My biometrics, it just is hard on my technology. So you guys, it can be hard. Oh, 22 viewers. Awesome, Sherry. Thank you. So it can be hard on electronics. So in addition to Mercury going retrograde, we also are going to have five planets or 6 planets. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6. I'm not the best in terms of planetary thing. I actually have a woman who I follow on this information, and she's amazing. I've been following for years. Anyway, they're all going into retrograde, and they will be there for a while. And the only reason why it's important for those of us in the real world is that when our planets go into retrograde, it means that it's going backwards, right? They're literally moving backwards instead of moving forwards. And energetically, what that means is our stuff comes up, right? Now in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we love our stuff coming up because when our stuff comes up, it means it's time to heal from it. It's like, whoo, it's cool when your stuff comes up, okay? So, but that's really what it is. So our past is coming back, okay? It's like deja vu, our past is coming back. And, the thing that's important about that is what we resist persists. Okay. So when our stuff is coming up again and again and again, you're just going to be like, not again. Right. But there is another way of looking at it. It keeps coming up because it's emotional baggage and we haven't dealt with it. So that's shadow, that's emotional baggage, and it comes up for a reason. Our conscious mind would not allow it to come up. Our subconscious would not come up. Our unconscious would not come up unless we are in a place of our lives that is safe to get rid of it. So if your stuff is coming up over the next month, right? This is the pre-shadow of it. So really Wednesday, if it starts coming up, just, take a big deep breath and realize that it's there for a reason. I have really chosen in my life right now, I have chosen to see my challenges as gifts. Now, when I'm in the middle of it, it doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like shit. Sorry, Isabella. I know. I shouldn't say that, but that's what it feels like. It just feels like and it's crap and you don't want to deal with it. And you're running all of your stuff, right? Distort, delete, all of those things. You're running everything else. But if you can quickly switch through it, if you can move through using your spiritual practices, you can move through it quicker and faster. And then you can start seeing those challenges as a gift. Because the gift are the lessons and the learnings, okay? And that's awesome. And if you can look at the lessons and the learnings, then you can use the master number 22 as a master builder, and you can be a sacred creator. You can shift out the energy and you can move towards what you want, okay? So that's what's important about those planets. Okay. That leads me into the last thing I want to tell you right now, which is I promised that I would give you a tool. this is exactly what it is. So in Mercury retrograde and planetary retrograde and anything that comes up, when your stuff comes up, this is a really, really effective tool. Now, I learned it in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, but the reality is I have been using this tool for years and years and years and years as part of my spiritual metaphysical practice. And in NLP, it's called reframe, okay? It's reframing. In metaphysics and what I had before, it's actually just called perspective shift, and it's really shifting perspective. And in my energy work, in my Reiki work, it is really about shifting energy. And the more I do my studies, the more I master my own energy and master the ability to move and feel energy, or feel and move energy. The more I do that, the more I realize that everything is energy, okay? That we are energy, that we are part of a collective, we are part of a unified field. And in that unified field, there is the all that there is. That is the all. That's the divine, that is God, that is, the universe, that is divine love, divine energy. And that's really what the unified field. And we are all part of that. Humans, plants, trees, animals, rocks, stuff. We are all part of this energy. And the more that I start to master my own energy, the more I start to realize that I can feel energy and I can move energy, and thoughts are energy and feelings are energy and everything is energy. And that when the challenges come, I can move it quicker and then it can be a gift. Does that make sense, you guys? Hopefully that makes sense. So the tool for this is called reframing. And what this is it's just a perspective shift, okay? So for my art friends, I'm gonna give you an example. I love this one, okay? This is a super easy example, and I'm keeping an eye on the time. Let's say that you want to paint a house. Let's say Deborah Quartermain, she's not in here right now, but her beautiful house that she has in Canada. She has this gorgeous old Victorian home. So let's say I get my canvas and I get my paints and I get my easel out, and I want to paint the front of Deborah's house with that beautiful steps and those beautiful doors. So I set myself up in my easel looking straight at that door, and I look at it and I'm in awe, and I take a big deep breath and I get out my sketch pad and I start to sketch the house, right? The perspective I have is a full-on straight-on perspective, right? So that is a straight-on perspective. Now, let's say that all of a sudden I'm so focused on the house, but all of a sudden something catches my eye over here, right? And what catches my eye over here is her lake, because her house actually sits on a really beautiful lake. And I decide that after I paint this perspective, I want to paint the lake and the house. So if I want to do that, what do I have to do? I have to pick up my easel, I have to pick up my canvas, I have to pick up my paints, and I have to move somewhere else to where I get a different perspective so I can see it from a different side, and I can see the lake and I can see the house. And then I can sit down and then I can paint with a different perspective. Got it? Got it. This is reframing. So let's say a challenge comes up. Let's say an event happens. Let's say something really happens in our life and we want to consciously create from it. Consciously create, not unconscious, not subconscious. We want to consciously create from this experience. So something comes up in our lives and we start running our stuff, we start running our programming, we start running it really, really fast and hard. We're blaming the other person, we're mad at them because they're doing it to us, right? And then it's like, oh, not again, they're doing this, they're starting this and everything else. So the reframe is, what am I doing to contribute to this situation? What am I doing right now to where I'm looking at that house and only seeing the door and only seeing the steps? And what can I do to shift my perspective so I can see the lake and the house? Does that make sense? I want to reframe it. So I know you guys like examples, so let me give examples, okay? Let me just pick one. Okay, let's say that Sherry, I'm just going to pick out a name. Sherry's just going through her life. She's doing what she needs to do from the day. And then Sherry's sister calls. Sherry's sister is having a bad day. Like it is a bad day and she wants to vent. So she just needs to vent, and she needs to vent. She's calling her sister to vent. But what happens is Sherry, her sister, actually wants to dump on Sherry. And Sherry is an empath and a beautiful human soul. So her sister knows that when she dumps on Sherry, she's going to feel better and Sherry's going to feel like crap, right? So that's what's happening. This is the dynamic. It's been set up for a long time. It runs just without even thinking about it. So sister calls, Sherry picks up the phone, Sherry listens to her, blah, 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 blah. Sister starts feeling better because she's getting it off her chest. Sherry starts feeling worse and worse and worse because her energy is getting drained, right? So now she's in it. The sister hangs up. Thanks. I feel so much better every time I talk to you. Sister's like, I love you, sis. You hang up the phone. Sister goes about her life. And all of a sudden she just feels like crap. She's exhausted. She's tired. She wants to take a nap. Okay. So that happens again and again and again and again, because it's a habit. It's a way of being that has just always existed. So let's say Sherry now decides, I don't want to feel like crap anymore. I don't like it. I need to change the way I talk to my sister. I need to change the way we communicate. She doesn't know how, right? She has no idea how to break this habit. She has no idea how to do this. She just knows she can't take it anymore. So she's got to find a different perspective. She's got to find a reframe. So next time sister calls on the phone, she's mad. She wants to vent. She wants to dump. Sister has to come in, right? Sherry has to come in. She has to set a boundary and she has to say, you know what? Hey, listen, I know that is really hard for you. And I know this has happened to you before, but you know what? Let's think about what is another way of handling the situation. What is a way that you could actually make change in the situation? You know, what is a way to reframe it so that we don't have to talk about the negative and we can possibly talk about the problem and solutions to the problem. And then all of a sudden, Sherry becomes a solution finder, okay? So that's a reframe. Now let's just say it doesn't happen that way, okay? Sister actually wants to keep venting because she wants to feel better. She wants the energy hit from her sister. It's going to take a little bit to do that. So reframes don't happen right away and perspective shifts don't happen right away, but being aware of it can change the energy. Okay, so the reframe. So I'm sorry that was a long example. I'll try to come up with some different ones. We'll talk about reframes in the future so we can talk about these a little bit more. I don't want to keep going and going and going because I want to get to the cards. But hopefully you guys get what I'm talking about and you're understanding that reframe is a tool. Shifting perspective is a tool when cosmic forces, energy is high and intense, and all this stuff is coming into you because you're a sensitive and an empath. You have the power, you have the control, you have the tools to not allow your energy to be drained because you are 22, you are a master creator and a builder of your own life. Okay? Okay. Good. Breath, drink. Okay. Let me take a breath. Tammy says it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. That reframe has helped a lot. Okay, you guys, that's good. Tammy also says, hope Mercury doesn't throw it out. You know what? Let me just put it this way, you guys, in terms of Mercury retrograde and any contracts and stuff, just make the decision that Mercury isn't going to throw it off. Don't allow Mercury to throw it off. Okay. And I know that sounds really, really simple, but just be like, talk to Mercury retrograde and just be like, hey, Mercury retrograde, I know that you are going backwards instead of forwards right now. But I am choosing in my mindset and in my life as the sacred creator of my life that my contracts in my house is going to be just fine. And then just have that mindset that you're going to sell the house, the contract's going to be fine, everything's going to be okay, and set that intention. And if you can set the intention, then, where you put your energy, where you put your focus is what comes back to you. So set the intention that Mercury retrograde is not going to affect you, Tammy. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Okie dokie. Okay, you guys. Now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to get onto some readings. Hitomi, you can go ahead and line up the queue. And then the other thing I want to do today for you guys for Magic Mondays is I want to unveil my deck. Remember last Monday I talked to you and I said I was working on my own Oracle card deck. This has been a goal of mine for 2 years now. I had wrote it down. I was scared to death. I had actually created the deck in my head, but I was actually scared to death. I ran all of my insecurities. I ran all of my unconscious mind, all of my stuff of I'm not good enough. Who am I? Who am I to make a deck? I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I ran all of my insecurities for months and months and months and months and months. And then it was like, this is silly. I'm going to do this because I have a desire to do this. I want to do this. I have everything I want to do, and I'm just going to make it happen. And I'm going to let go of my fears, and I'm going to let go of my perfectionism, and I'm going to let go of my shadow, and I'm just going to create it. Okay, so I created my deck. Now, here's a pre-frame, and a pre-frame means I'm going to tell you right now, I am not the best artist, right? It took me a long time to say that I was an artist because I don't know how to draw. My daughter at 13 is a way better artist than I am right now because she draws beautifully. And that being said, art is something we all have the capacity to do. I had to draw my own pictures because of copyright issues, because I hope that I'm going to be able to take the next step and be able to get this deck printed and then be able to use it and then be able to sell it. That's also my goal, is to create these decks as products. I want to create spiritual products. Stacy, there's no accidents that you came on today because you were brilliant at manifesting, creating actual products. You know how to do that. I'm learning, I'm being inspired. So here's my deck. It's called the Joyful Deck. It's called Joyful Deck, Live a Colorful Life. There's 28 of these. I am using watercolor paper, and I am using the backgrounds of Ken Oliver's incredible watercolors. And Ken's here right now. You guys, his products that he's created are above and beyond his art products. They're really good. Candy, I know, honey, I'm getting to the readings. I promise. I'm itching my nose. So, so here they are. Okay. They're really fun. They're really joyful. They're colorful. There's 28 of them. I really would like to have probably a 44 card deck. So I'll keep working on them. I am going to, hopefully I'm going to teach this at Portland Art and Soul next April. Once we get done with this, I have to sit down and I have to write the proposal up. My friend Lori Scott and I are going to be teaching there together. And I'm going to be teaching this in person and here. So I'm going to do it. Okay. So this is it. So it's the Joyful Deck. So I just want to show them to you. So I just had so much fun. There really is only one shadow card in the whole entire deck. And all of them are just super happy. So they're just happy, happy cards is what they are. Okay. So I'm just showing them to you. And they're just really colorful and they're really fun. So I'm going to start using my own deck on you guys, and they're super, super positive. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So here they are. Yay. The big, great unveil to my community. Thank you for all the love and the hearts and the support, you guys. I don't know. I don't know if I would have really had the strength without you guys behind me to help me, you know, to just push me on to do this. And so push myself and to do the things that I think I can't do, but I'm going to do anyway. Okay. So I keep doing them. Anyway, super fun. I love this. Okay, you guys, we're going to do the deck right now and I'm going to pull it. So if you can, Hitomi, give me the person, that will be awesome. Aw, thanks, Ken. Couldn't have done it without your incredible watercolor projects. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Susan. I have to figure out how to get them printed. So that will be my next thing, is how to get them printed and how to get them packaged and how to pay for it and all that other stuff. Okay. So that will be it. And I am so proud, Dawn. I really, really am. And you got to see these in person, my love. So, so anyway, I'll be using them for now until we figure out the next step. Okay. Okay. Let's